New York City, 1900. Before sunrise, a young immigrant mother quietly lights a coal stove inside a crowded apartment on Manhattan's Lower East Side. The small room is still dark. Her husband is already getting ready for another long day of work. Their children sleep nearby, sharing the same space where the family eats, works, and lives. Outside, the city is beginning to wake. Horse-drawn wagons rumble over the streets. Factory whistles sound in the distance. Thousands of people are already moving through the neighborhoods of New York. Every year, more families arrive from Europe and other parts of the world, hoping for a better life. New York is growing faster than ever before. New buildings rise toward the sky. Businesses make fortunes. The city is becoming the largest and richest in America. But behind the wealth and progress lies another story. It is a story hidden behind brick walls and narrow hallways. A story found inside the homes of ordinary people who worked, struggled, and dreamed in one of the busiest cities on earth. Tonight, we are stepping inside one of those homes. Using census records, historic photographs, old building plans, newspaper reports, tenement studies, personal diaries, and memoirs, we can carefully rebuild what life looked like for a typical family in New York at the turn of the 20th century. Together, we will follow one family through a single day. We will see where they lived, what they ate, how they worked, and the challenges they faced. Through their home, we will discover the larger story of a city being transformed by immigration, industry, and change. Our journey begins in one of the most crowded neighborhoods in America, where thousands of families live side by side in rows of packed tenement buildings. The family lives on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, one of the most crowded places in New York City. Block after block is filled with tall tenement buildings. Thousands of people live close together, packed into small apartments and narrow streets. The father works long hours in a garment workshop, helping make clothes that will be sold across the city. He leaves home early each morning and often returns after dark. His work is hard, but it helps keep food on the table. His wife spends most of her day caring for the home and the children. She cooks, cleans, washes clothes, and looks after the family. Sometimes she also takes piecework jobs, sewing garments at home to earn a little extra money. The couple has several children. The older ones may attend school, but they also help with chores and care for younger brothers and sisters. In some homes, grandparents live with the family. Others rent part of their apartment to boarders who need a place to sleep. Every extra dollar matters. Outside their building, the neighborhood is full of life. People speak many different languages. English mixes with Italian, Yiddish, German, Polish, and many others. Street vendors call out to customers. Children play between wagons and carts. The streets are always busy. Most families came to New York searching for opportunity. Many left behind poverty, hunger, or a lack of jobs in their home countries. They crossed the ocean hoping for a better future for their children. Life here is not easy. The apartments are crowded, and money is often scarce. Yet this small home offers something important. It provides shelter, safety, and a chance to build a new life. For many immigrant families, home is more than a place to live. It is their strategy for survival in a fast-changing city. Step inside the family's apartment, and the space feels much smaller than it appeared from the street. The home sits inside a narrow tenement building surrounded by many others just like it. Families live on every floor, packed closely together behind thin walls. The apartment has only a few small rooms. Sunlight struggles to reach inside. Windows face narrow air shafts or neighboring buildings, leaving many areas dark even during the day. The air can feel warm, crowded, and heavy. Near the center of the apartment stands a coal stove. It is used for both cooking and heating. During winter, it helps keep the family warm. Nearby sits a simple wash basin used for washing faces, hands, dishes, and clothing. The furniture is basic. A wooden table stands in the main room along with a few chairs. Beds take up much of the available space. Some fold away during the day so the room can be used for other activities. Every corner has a purpose. Outside the apartment door, narrow hallways connect dozens of families. Many buildings do not have indoor plumbing in every apartment. Instead, Residents often share toilets located in the hallway or in the building's courtyard. Families carry water where it is needed and must use it carefully. These buildings were designed to hold as many tenants as possible. Landlords could earn more money by fitting more families into limited space. As New York's population grew, more tenements rose across the city. The apartment tells a larger story about New York in 1900. The city is growing at an incredible speed. New businesses create wealth, and new arrivals continue to fill the streets. Yet while some people live in comfort, many working families crowd into small homes like this one. The tenement is both a symbol of opportunity and a sign of the inequality growing alongside the city itself. As dawn approaches, the family begins to wake. The mother rises first. In the dim light, she carefully lights the coal stove. Soon, the room starts to warm, and the smell of burning coal fills the apartment. Before breakfast can be prepared, water must be gathered. Buckets are carried and filled for cooking, washing, and cleaning. Every drop is important. Nothing is wasted. The father dresses for work while the stove heats a simple morning meal. Breakfast is often modest. Bread, porridge, potatoes, or leftovers from the night before may be placed on the table. The family eats quickly because the day ahead will be busy. One by one, the children wake up. They wash their faces in a basin and put on their clothes. Some prepare for school. Others, especially older children, may be heading to jobs where they can help support the family. Everyone has responsibilities. Outside, New York is already coming to life. Street vendors push their carts through the neighborhood, calling out to customers. The sound of horses pulling wagons echoes along the streets. Factory whistles cut through the morning air, warning workers that it is time to begin. Above the crowded roads, elevated trains rumble across iron tracks, carrying passengers from one part of the city to another. The noise grows louder with each passing minute. Doors open. Families step into hallways. Workers hurry toward factories and workshops. Children fill the sidewalks. Shops begin to open for business. What was quiet only an hour ago is now full of movement. The family's apartment may be small, but it is connected to something much larger. As they begin their day, millions of other New Yorkers are doing the same. Together, they help power one of the fastest-growing cities in the world. As the day continues, much of the work that keeps New York running remains hidden from view. Back inside the apartment, many mothers spend long hours sewing garments. Piles of cloth cover tables and chairs. Piece by piece, shirts, dresses, and jackets are stitched together. The pay is often low, but every extra coin helps support the family. Children also play a role in the city's economy. While some attend school, others work to help their parents. Young boys may sell newspapers on busy street corners. They call out the latest headlines, hoping to attract customers. Others deliver packages, run errands, or help in small shops. Across the city, factory workers labor in crowded buildings filled with noise and heat. They operate machines, make products, and work long shifts. Their efforts help turn New York into an industrial powerhouse. In wealthier parts of the city, another group of workers keeps daily life moving. Domestic servants cook meals, clean rooms, wash clothes, and care for children. Many live inside the homes of the families they serve. Their work is rarely noticed, yet it is essential. Wherever people go, workers are there. Delivery boys move goods through the streets. Shop clerks assist customers. Dock workers unload ships arriving from distant lands. Countless hands keep the city functioning every hour of the day. The contrast between neighborhoods is striking. In working-class districts, families crowd into small tenement apartments and struggle to make ends meet. Just a few miles away, wealthy families live in large homes with servants, electric lights, and far more space than they need. Yet both worlds depend on labor. Behind every busy street, every shop window, and every grand building stands an army of ordinary workers. Their efforts power the city, even if their names are rarely remembered by history. Life in New York in 1900 is shaped by work, family, and social class. From a young age, people are expected to contribute to the household in some way. For many children, education offers hope for a better future. Public schools are growing, and more families are sending their children to class. There, students learn reading, writing, and basic math. But not every child can spend all day at school. Some leave early to work and help support their families. Adults face their own expectations. Most fathers are expected to earn money through jobs in factories, workshops, stores, or on the docks. Mothers usually manage the home, prepare meals, care for children, and handle daily chores. Many also earn extra income through sewing, laundry work, or other jobs done from home. Every family member has responsibilities. Older children often help care for younger brothers and sisters. Grandparents may assist with household tasks. In crowded apartments, everyone plays a part. Yet daily life can look very different depending on social status. Many immigrant workers live in small tenement apartments and work long hours for modest pay. Skilled tradesmen, such as carpenters, printers, and machinists, often earn more and enjoy greater stability. Middle-class professionals, including teachers, lawyers, and office workers, usually live in cleaner neighborhoods with larger homes. At the very top are industrial millionaires. Their wealth comes from railroads, factories, banks, and large businesses. They live in grand houses with servants and comforts that most New Yorkers can only imagine. These class divisions affect nearly everything. They influence where people live, what they eat, how long they work, and what opportunities their children receive. In New York, social status is more than a measure of wealth. It shapes the course of everyday life from childhood to old age. To understand life inside the family's apartment, we must step outside and explore the city around them. The streets of New York are crowded from morning until night. Markets are filled with people buying food for their families. Fresh vegetables, fruit, fish, and meat are sold from small stalls. Pushcart vendors line the sidewalks, calling out to customers as they sell goods from simple wooden carts. Factories stand across many parts of the city. Their tall buildings and smoking chimneys are signs of New York's growing industry. Every day, thousands of workers enter their doors to make clothing, furniture, tools, and countless other products. Places of worship are also important parts of community life. Churches and synagogues bring families together for prayer, support, and social events. For many immigrants, these buildings provide a connection to their old homeland while helping them build a new life in America. Moving through the city is easier than ever before. Trolley lines carry passengers along busy streets. Above them, elevated railways thunder across iron tracks. Trains transport workers, shoppers, and visitors from one neighborhood to another, helping the city grow larger each year. When the workday ends, people seek entertainment. Some visit theaters, music halls, or dance halls. Others gather in parks, cafes, or community centers to meet friends and family. All of these places are connected. The food sold in the markets, the goods made in factories, and the passengers riding trains are part of the same system. New York operates like a giant machine powered by trade, work, and migration. The family's apartment may seem small compared to the city around it, but their daily lives are tied to this larger economy. Every meal, every paycheck, and every opportunity depends on the busy world beyond their front door. Yet beneath the energy and excitement of New York in 1900 lies a much harsher reality. The city is growing so quickly that many neighborhoods are struggling to keep up. In the tenement districts, families crowd into small apartments with little space, fresh air, or sunlight. Several people may share a single room. Buildings stand packed closely together, filling entire blocks. These crowded conditions make disease a constant threat. Illness can spread rapidly from one family to another. When sickness enters a building, it often moves quickly through hallways, apartments, and neighborhoods. Fire is another danger. Coal stoves, candles, and oil lamps are used every day. In crowded buildings with narrow stairways, a small fire can become a deadly disaster within minutes. Outside, pollution fills the air. Smoke rises from factories, trains, and countless coal fires. The streets are often dirty and noisy. Horses leave waste behind, and garbage can pile up in busy areas. For workers, the dangers continue. Factory conditions are often harsh. Long hours, low pay, and unsafe machines are common. Injuries happen regularly, and many workers have little protection if they are hurt on the job. Poverty touches many families. A steady paycheck is all that stands between survival and hardship. If a worker becomes sick, loses a job, or suffers an injury, the entire family can face serious trouble. Many households live one missed paycheck away from disaster. This is the hidden truth behind New York's success. The city's factories, businesses, and growing wealth depend on the labor of millions of ordinary people. While some enjoy great riches, many workers endure difficult living conditions to keep the city moving forward. The bright lights of progress are real, but so are the sacrifices made by the people living in its shadows. As evening settles over New York, the family slowly returns home. The father comes back from the garment workshop, tired after a long day of work. The children arrive from school, jobs, or errands around the neighborhood. One by one, they climb the stairs and step through the apartment door. Soon, the family gathers around the table for their evening meal. The food is simple, but it is shared together. As they eat, they talk about the day. The father speaks about work at the factory. The children share stories from school and the busy streets outside. For a short time, the worries of the day seem a little lighter. After dinner, preparations begin for tomorrow. Clothes are folded. Small chores are finished. If the mother has sewing work, she may continue for a few more hours before resting. Every member of the household helps in some way. As the night grows later, lamps begin to dim. The sounds inside the apartment become quieter. Outside, the city slowly settles down. The noise of wagons, trains, and crowded sidewalks fades into the distance. One by one, family members prepare for sleep. The apartment is small. It is crowded. Life here is often difficult, yet it also represents hope. Families living in homes like this helped build modern New York and modern America. Through hard work, sacrifice, and determination, they shaped the future of the city around them. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share this video with others who love history. But before we leave, one final question remains. What did home really mean in New York in 1900? It was not comfort. It was not luxury. It was a foothold in a new world, a place where millions of ordinary people endured hardship, chased opportunity, and helped create the city that would shape the 20th century.